All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a big matchup. The Tipton Blue Devils going up against the Kokomo Wildcats. A matchup with star player Flory Badunga, but we're going to start out with the coaches for the teams. Coach for Kokomo, John Peckinbaugh. He is 30-12 in his second year at Kokomo, 52-36 overall as a coach. That's 4 years of him.
Yeah, really great program Kokomo has here. Coach John, Big John as they like to call him. Great coach, great program builder, and Kokomo is definitely lucky to have him. And for Tipton, we have Cliff Hawkins. He's 56-29 in his fourth year here at Tipton. Been coaching for 42 years, so he's definitely seen some good teams and some good players here in his career, but arguably none as good as Flory Badunga. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with him tonight. And Coach Hawkins, in his career, he has 553 wins and 338 losses. So it's a lot of games.
Much more coaching experience than the side of Kokomo. We'll see if that can come into play.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
have his boys more ready than the Kokomo ones, because obviously Kokomo having the I would say more talent than Tipton. So it might come down to the coaching. It'll definitely come in handy for Tipton to have that experience.
Absolutely.
The Sagarin ratings certainly favor Kokomo in this one. Kokomo coming in at 10th overall, 10th in 4A. Tipton at 96th overall, 13th in 2A.
Yeah. Just like you mentioned, Kokomo's got a lot of talent, and it's not just Flory. They've got good pieces around him, and they're going to go a long way in the tournament. So Tipton, on the other hand, was still a very talented roster, ranked 10 in 2A. So definitely expecting a good game tonight from the Blue Devils. It's going to be hard to stop Kokomo, being a bigger school and having a lot more talent, but.
Yep.
It'll be a good game tonight.
Yep. And while you mentioned the bigger school, that'll come into play with the players more than anything. A few guards for Kokomo. Number 2, Reese Beard. Number 3, Xavion Bellamy. Number 35, Shane Spear. And at the forward position, they've got number 15, Patrick Hardiman. He comes in at 6'4", 202. So that in and of itself will be a hard enough matchup for Tipton. Not to mention at the center position for Kokomo, number 40, Flory Badunga. He comes in at 6'9", 215.
Absolutely.
So nobody on Tipton even close to matching him.
Yeah. Grady Carpenter, 6'5". He plays guard, though. So, is Tipton going to stick him on Flory, or are we going to have, our second, big guy, I guess, if you will, Gavin Hare. He's listed at 6'2". That's quite the height difference there. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Hawkins does here tonight.
And we'll talk a little bit about what we think later on. On the other side, we do have Tipton. Do you want to break down their roster?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting at guard, we'll have Jackson Money, 6-foot junior. Also with him in the guard position, Maverick Conaway, 6'1" senior. Nolan Swan, probably the star of the team, number 11, 6'1" junior as well. He can shoot the lights out, and I think that's going to be a focal point here tonight for the Blue Devils. With him, Connor Song, 6'3" senior. He's missed some time, so we'll see. Where Coach Hawkins will have him tonight if he starts or comes off the bench, but he's definitely a key piece that we'll use tonight. And then also Gavin Hare, he'll see a good amount of playing time against 6'2" junior. We'll probably see Landon Spidell as well if we get into some foul trouble here. 6'2" sophomore, and then Sam Quigley rounds us out of the rotation. 5'11" sophomore who can also shoot the ball pretty well.
Yep, and that's another thing with Tipton. They've gone through a number of combinations with their starting lineups throughout this season. You would have to think that they're going to go big here.
You would think so, and looking forward to the future. We only have really two or three seniors on the team, yep. So it's definitely got a bright future with Grady only being a sophomore. I guess I skipped over him. 6'5" sophomore Grady Carpenter, number 3. Like I mentioned, he plays the guard position, but we'll see who he matches up with on the defensive end tonight. So be interesting to see that. But yeah, as you mentioned, very young team. Only have a few seniors here, and definitely got a bright future.
Yep, and we mentioned our seniors. None of them are big guys here. You'd like to think of Gavin Hare and Landon Spidell, junior and a sophomore respectively. Connor Asong, the taller of the two seniors, he comes in at 6'3", but he usually does play a guard/forward combination. He could play really either one. our tallest player, Grady Carpenter, coming in at 6'5". So we'll see what kind of combination they start out with here to try and deal with Flory.
Absolutely, and with Gavin and Landon, they might be small, but boy, they are mighty. They will fight to the end. So it'll be interesting to see them fight with Flory tonight. So we'll see how they battle down there.
That is one thing about them. They do battle. It doesn't matter who's on the other end.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to some offensive overviews. I'll start off with Kokomo. The most obvious piece here on their board here, Flory Badunga.
Yeah, I was watching some film from them against their game from Harrison, and they went to him early and often, and I think they're going to do the exact same thing tonight, especially with, like we already talked about, the height differential here. I mean, I just don't see how they don't. They just don't go to him.
I mean,
that's
right
out of
the
the
most
gate.
obvious way. It's obviously not just Flory on that end. They've got some very, very quality players, very fast players too.
Yeah,
they definitely use speed to their advantage.
Absolutely, their guards are so quick and they're so unselfish too. They're not afraid to share the ball, and when you have a threat like Flory down there on the boards, you love to run in transition, and like I said, they're so unselfish. They don't really care who scores the points, and they're going to get a lot of assists tonight if there's a lot of transition. So if Tipton's going to play fast, which I think they might, could see an AAU style game here.
Yep. Tipton known for switching their defenses this season especially, but I don't know if that's going to affect Kokomo too much. They're very used to. They play a variety of different teams at different levels, and they're really used to handling the pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. They can handle the pressure very well. They can handle size, which Tipton doesn't necessarily have very well, and Tipton's got some quick guards as well. But I mean, Kokomo's guards are just bigger and faster and stronger than the Tipton's guards. But we'll see how it pans out tonight. We'll see.
All right. We broke down Kokomo. Now let's take a look at Tipton. In this game, it's obviously going to have to come from beyond the arc.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a key stat here we'll get into. Tipton, 45% of their shot attempts are from behind the arc, and they're shooting 37% from three this year. So that's definitely going to be a focal point here. But like I mentioned, Kokomo's got some big guards. Is that going to affect them tonight? Is the size and the strength going to deter Tipton from taking as many threes as they normally do?
Yep. And if that's one thing that Tipton has over Kokomo in tonight's matchup, it is the three-point shooting, as well as the free throw shooting. Tipton coming in at 70%. The Wildcats not so good, 55% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and with Tipton, their kind of skill set and their plays we have in the playbook. We're gonna cut hard and we're gonna cut off. We're gonna pass and cut. And watching some film, I've seen some kind of lapses in the defense for Kokomo. Whenever they play some teams like that. So it's gonna be interesting. And with no real inside threat for Tipton, I think we're just going to have to live and die by the three tonight.
And it could come actually as an advantage. Flory probably not so used to guarding out on that perimeter. He comes in averaging, I think it's here, 4.6 blocks per game. That is very high, higher than Tipton's probably ever seen this year.
Yeah, and to go with that, he has so many blocks, but he doesn't foul that much. Last night Kokomo played Muncie Central, and he had 4 fouls, but that's pretty out of the ordinary for him. Kokomo comes in only averaging about 14.5 fouls a game, so 15 fouls a game. Spread between their lineup. That's not a lot of foul trouble for them. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on tonight.
That is one thing that them and Tipton have in common. Tipton coming in averaging 14.1 fouls per game. That's going to be huge coming up. You cannot get into foul trouble.
Absolutely, and with Tipton, they like to drive and kick like it's clockwork. They're going to drive and kick, try and get those open threes, and they're going to have some actions for Grady Carpenter and Nolan Swan to get going from behind the arc. So Swan, coming in averaging 17.1 points a game, 4.5 assists, and he's shooting 45% this season from three. So he will definitely light it up, and he's a guy that likes to play with confidence.
Yep. And it's going to have to come down to Grady Carpenter's playmaking ability to get his teammates the ball on that three-point arc. I don't expect too many two-point shot attempts to even come out from Tipton. They're going to have to go by the three, and it's going to be up to Grady Carpenter to get his teammates the ball.
Yeah,
he comes in averaging 8.2 assists per game, second in Indiana, 14th in the entire United States.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something Kokomo's going to have to deal with. They're going to have to try and clog the passing lanes here and try to get us off our rhythm. So next, we'll go ahead and look at the do a little defensive overview. First for Kokomo, they basically play strictly man. We don't really see them get out of that. They like to stay home. They don't switch at all. Whenever there's screens and everything. So that sometimes kind of leads to them getting beat backdoor, which is kind of like we hinted at earlier with Tipton. They like to cut hard and cut often. So that'll be something to keep an eye on here.
We'll see if Tipton can get them on that back door. Flory Badunga anchoring the defense. Who knows how many backdoor attempts Tipton's going to get?
Absolutely.
But that's not really their game plan anyway.
Yeah, and with him, and he likes to, whenever there are, high ball screens, he likes to drop back in that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if they're going to, just try and live and die by the three like we've kind of been doing all season, or if they're going to try to go towards something else. But, definitely something to keep an eye on there.
The Kokomo Wildcats, a team that have probably seen just about every defense you could possibly see against Flory Badunga. Tipton, it looks like this game, we've heard that they're going to try to have one man in front, one man behind Flory at all times.
Yeah, and we're going to be in a zone probably most of the game. And Kokomo, they play Logan Sport. That's kind of what they tried to do, and Kokomo beat them pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Blue Devils will match up there. But I mean, I just don't know. If we go into man, I don't know who's going to keep Flory out of the
There's only
paint.
so many options you can do if you're Tipton here. You're well undersized, and it's just going to be super hard to keep Flory from getting his.
And when you're in man, like we talked about earlier, these guys are so quick. Like even if you're in man, you're probably still going to get beat off the dribble. So I mean, I think zone's really the best option here, and I think we'll see that quite a bit tonight from Coach Cliff Hawkins.
Yep. And if they do go into that defense where they have two people on Flory at all times, that leaves them in a 3-on-4 against some quick guards.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kokomo, they're coming in averaging about 30% from beyond the arc. So if you do help like that, they're still gonna burn you from three. And last night against Muncie Central, Kokomo shot about 23% from behind the arc. So it was kind of an off night for them. So I would expect them to pick that up tonight and probably be red hot from behind the arc.
It would benefit Tipton greatly if Kokomo was to repeat that performance, but people seem to get hot in the Inferno.
Absolutely. It's called the Inferno for a reason. So
another thing for Tipton, fouls are going to be an issue. Luckily for them, Kokomo not the best free throw shooting team. So when they do get in that foul trouble, it won't be like the end of the game, They still have a chance.
Yeah, and to go back to the game last night, Kokomo shot 59% from the foul line, so it's a little bit higher than their average. But they're not a great free throw shooting, and I think as you mentioned, Tipton shoots quite a bit better than that, 70% from the foul stripe. So
the thing is, you never know how many free throw attempts Tipton actually could get tonight.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to attack the basket a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of the fouls will be, on rebounds and, maybe even fouling the shooter in Nolan Swan and Grady Carpenter. So you got guys like Maverick Conaway, too, who aren't afraid to shoot the ball, and Sam Quickly, like we mentioned earlier. So it'll be interesting.
Just about 5 minutes left to go in tip-off. Why don't we break down the keys to victory for both teams? I'll go first with Kokomo. The biggest thing for them, don't let Swan get hot. He plays with confidence, and he leads his team in points per game and three-point percentage.
Absolutely, and like we hinted at earlier, Kokomo's gonna have to clog those passing lanes. As we mentioned, Grady's one of the best passers in the state, and as you mentioned, when we were doing the research, he's ranked 14th in the whole country, and in assists per game. So that's pretty impressive for a small 2A school like Tipton.
And another thing for Kokomo to do in order to win this game, do the little things right. Take care of the ball, limit those fouls, make your free throws, and control the pace of the game, which is something I think they absolutely can do.
Absolutely. We believe we're going to have the national anthem here, so we will go ahead and observe that. All right, correction, we are not having the national anthem now.
I think that'll be in coming up very shortly. Yeah. I think they might stop the clock at 3 minutes, so we'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, a little bit of a pump fake there from the band. It looks like they were getting ready to perform, and people in front of us are standing up.
Everybody's standing up. You see across there, and obviously right in front of the camera. And, well, while we have a little bit of time left, how about we talk about Tipton?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night with as good of a player as Flory is. Are we just going to let him get his and try and stop everybody else, or are we going to try to stop Flory and make everybody else beat us? It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Hawkins decides to do. So, in their game against Harrison, Kokomo shot 53% from behind the line, so they are very careful of getting hot, as we kind of hinted on earlier, and they're going to try to. And Tipton's got to try to own the glass. The Wildcats coming in averaging 30.5 rebounds a game to Tipton's 24, a little over 24 a game. So you're going to have to box people out when shots go up, and 6'9", 215. It's going to be
a task much easier said than done. But
yeah,
Tipton,
absolutely.
They're going to have to do that. They have no choice really. They can't let Kokomo get those second chance opportunities. Absolutely. Here come the Blue Devils. 3 minutes left to go. So I expect the national anthem to be coming up at any moment. While we do have a few minutes left, why don't we talk about some of the best players to ever play in the Inferno? Obviously, we are going to mention Flory Badunga quite a lot. Let's see his competition.
Yeah, Flory is a five-star, number 4 recruit in the entire nation.
Several
D1 here in Tipton,
too.
Indiana tonight. That's pretty crazy. But, you look at some of these other names. The most recent one, probably Braden Smith from Purdue. Tipton had a series against Westfield. So, he's played in this very gym. Mr. Basketball for Indiana and arguably one of the best freshmen in the country right now for Purdue. You look at some names for Tipton, Mike Crawford, who played at St. Louis, Derek Elston at IU, just back here in the mid-2000s, 2010s. And Matt Waddell, back in the day, who was teammates with our athletic director, Corey Fernung, and Matt Painter at Purdue.
Very good team then.
And we mentioned Derek Elston as his dad. Also, Daryl Elston was a great player for Tipton and went on to play at UNC. Look at some of these other names: Taylor Pearsons from Ball State and
showing
DJ
some love to
Ballantyne.
Kokomo over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Kokomo. Those are two very good players from them.
They typically do bring in some very good players. Another one including DJ Ballantyne, Jimmy Rail, who went to IU, and then we have to mention their 1989 Kokomo team. That entire team gave Tipton one heck of a game.
Yeah, I basically put out a poll on Twitter. Some of the people who are very familiar with Tipton's history here with basketball, and tried to get some of the best names Tipton's that have either played in this gym or that we've just played against in general. And some of the names we've rattled off here are some great players, and arguably none better than Flory, and also Deshaun Thomas, the great player for Ohio State a few years back.
One more thing I wanted to touch on. You guys might recognize this name, Zach Randolph.
Yeah, absolutely.
He went to Michigan State and then had a very good career in the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember him for the Memphis Grizzlies. You might know him for some different teams. It looks like we're about to get ready for the national anthem. I think that's all we're going to talk about here. "40 seconds left. I'll leave you the floor if there's anything else you'd like to add before we get into tonight's matchup.
I don't think so. I just appreciate everybody out here watching, especially probably my favorite viewer right now, my grandparents, and then also my favorite viewer, Julian Purvis. She gave me a shout out on Twitter, so I appreciate her watching me, and she also owes me $5 for that. So,
all right, and we'll get into the national anthem here. We'll be right back.
Great performance as always from the Tipton band and director Matt Skiba.
Very historic band, aren't they?
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now is what you've been waiting for. We've got 100 viewers to watch the tip-off between the Kokomo Wildcats and the Tipton Blue Devils. Let's get right into it with the starting lineups. First up from the Kokomo Wildcats, number 2, Reese Beard. Xavion Bellamy, number 3, joining him at the guard position. Number 35, Shane Spear, also joining them in the starting lineup. Number 15, Patrick Hardiman. And, of course, number 40, the big man down low, Flory Badunga. But on the other end, Tipton will provide a starting lineup of their own, of course. That's how the game of basketball is played. Let's get right into it. Starting off for Tipton. Let's see what kind of combination Tipton comes out with. You know, we talked earlier in the pregame show about they like to mix it up with their starting lineups. You have to think that they go big here. So let's see who they start out with.
Number 2, Maverick Conaway.
It is Maverick Conaway, so a typical starter for them. He's not one to get exchanged too much. I would think the only person to get exchanged would be like Connor Hassong for like a Gavin Hare or a Landon Spidell to try and combat the size.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like also joining them, our tallest player, of course, we're going to start him, number 3, Grady Carpenter. We've also got Nolan Swan and Sam Quigley out there.
Wow, that's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
You know, as you mentioned, we think Tipton would want to go with some size, but I guess we're going with quickness tonight.
That's not one that we thought was going to be starting, but
yeah,
he did start against Northwestern, I will say, and he had a very solid game there, helping out his team get off to an early start. Very small lineup here for Tipton, as, of course, they're going to round it out with Jackson Money wearing number 23. That's going to be one heck of a game. Let's get right into it.
And just a quick note here before we start. It is reported that Matt Painter is here in the building. So I've yet to see him, but I've been getting some text from some people in the building. Said they've seen him here. So we'll try to get him on camera if we can, if we spot him. But we'll keep you updated. But Matt Painter is here in the building.
A nice handshake between Grady Carpenter and Flory Badunga, trying to befriend him, and maybe he's not going to go so hard against Tipton. Good strategy already coming out from the Blue Devils. You have to think Coach Hawkins told him to do that.
Yeah, you would think so. Grady's super nice kid, though. So
here we go.
Wow.
Grady wins the tip-off.
What an upset.
If you were betting on the tip-off, I'm sure you would have taken Flory in that one. There's Jackson Money on the wing. Shoots it over Flory. No good. And the rebound taken by Xavion Bellamy.
Tell you what, this place would have exploded if that would have went in. Here's the zone that we're seeing from Tipton.
Definitely would have helped. Two players not exactly on Flory, but whenever you can, you're going to see Maverick Conaway.
Yeah, he's
going to go over there, try to keep him out.
They're working the ball, trying to get it to him.
Bellamy for a 3. No good. The rebound falls right to Reese Beard. His layup no good, and Tipton comes away clean. Jackson Money up top. He's defended by Badunga. Maybe Money's going to look to try and score from the 3 as Grady Carpenter unfortunately gets a turnover there. Thrown into Shane Spear. Lob up to Flory. Not able to get that one. He will dribble it out to safety. Xavion Bellamy over to Shane Spear. Bellamy swings it to Beard. Flory not moving too much in the paint yet, but there's his opportunity. They're going to look for him there. Badunga catches down low, kicks it out. Beard tries to dribble inside. Spear fakes the 3, kicks it out. That was Bellamy for 3, no good. The rebound taken by Hardiman, and he'll be fouled. We were warning Tipton to stay out of foul trouble here. They only made it 1:26.
Yep, and like we talked about, you know, as we see here, Kokomo's controlling the offensive boards, basically getting anything you want here. So we're going to have to make some adjustments there.
Something you mentioned from Tipton is they're going to have to dominate those boards. Very hard to do when you have Badunga down low, as Hardiman comes up with the first points with his free throw. He'll have one more. Gets the first points for Kokomo there. 1:26 into the game.
Against Muncie Central last night, he went 2 for 2. Looks like he'll do it again
repeat
tonight.
He'll repeat the same thing. All right, we mentioned Carpenter as well, leading his team with, what was it, 8.2 assists per game? Somewhere around that.
Yeah, 8.2.
Second in the state. Money over Badunga. No good. That's going to be a hard shot for him to get.
Yeah.
But I do like that he's going at Badunga there. You know, not scared of the size, able to shoot over him.
Yeah, a lot of fearlessness.
We're going to like to see that. Beard swings it over. That's a three from Hardiman is no good. Quigley, the ball tipped over him. Bellamy drives baseline. Tried to throw that one into Badunga. It's going to be tipped out of bounds off of Tipton. 5:58 left to go in the first. Let's see what they do on the inbounds play here. They're going to tip it out of bounds.
Like the aggression there by Tipton.
I would think on just about every one of theirs, they're going to try to use that size advantage. It's specifically effective on those inbounds plays. Kokomo looks like called the timeout, 30-second timeout from them.
Yeah, you know, a few minutes in here. It's a little closer than I anticipated. You know, Kokomo's only scored 2 points so far. A couple good looks for Tipton, just haven't knocked down the shots.
And no looks for Badunga so far.
Yeah, no looks for Badunga.
They tried to get him on that lob, on that fast break that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Kokomo, a very fast-paced team. They've historically been definitely a speed advantage over Tipton in previous years.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but you know, they're basically face guarding Nolan Swan. You know, they as we talked about earlier, you know, that Kokomo does not want them to get hot.
So it's going to be some other players from Tipton. Jackson Money's had a couple looks, haven't quite gone in. I'd like to see him keep shooting.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. He'll keep shooting those.
2-3 zone back for Tipton. Added pressure on Badunga. They need to be careful about letting the ball get into him. Once he gets down there, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah. Kind of just got to hold on for dear life.
Bellamy on the wing. Kokomo haven't made a three yet this game, and that's something Tipton's going to want to hold true the entire game. Beard going to try and add one. Not quite able to there. Offensive rebound for Hardiman, and that's another offensive rebound for Kokomo. This one leads to points.
Yeah, you could see there Sam Quigley hit the deck. You know, I'm not sure if he got pushed on the rebound, but.
And let's see. Defensive foul call, Swan setting the screen. So good for Tipton that that's not actually on Nolan Swan. He's going to be a key player that you do not want to get into foul trouble. Kokomo leads by 4. Money on that left side. He's had a couple three-point attempts that haven't quite gone in. But I do like the aggression. Carpenter gets that ball tipped right back in him. Swan for 3. No good. Badunga with the rebound. He'll get those for sure.
Good look there from Swan.
I do like that he was able to create space. The off-the-ball movement actually going to be very key for Tipton.
Absolutely.
That's not something we pointed out in the pregame, but just like watching the flow of the game, you can see off-the-ball movement going to be key. Bellamy down low to Badunga. This is where he's effective. Carpenter did a good job there, but Badunga, playmaking ability there, not quite coming out with Reese Beard missing the shot. Conaway in the corner, no good. Money tips that one out. Quigley's going to try to go chase after it, but it's going to be out of bounds off of Kokomo. I like the offensive rebounding, giving them a taste of their own medicine, coming out there from Jackson Money, able to keep that play alive, and they've got a brand new possession for his efforts. Carpenter up top, he's defended by Hardiman, hands that one off to Swan. He's going to look to get going early. Money for 3, no good. And even though Flory's not exactly playing as close as he possibly could, I mean, his size is just so hard to shoot over no matter where he jumps from. He's obviously in your vision.
Yeah, I mean,
no matter where he's jumping from.
6'9",
Bellamy adds on a 3.
It's hard to shoot over him.
Tipton not yet on the scoreboard. A bad shooting night is not what they can have. They're going to need to get going here very soon. Not let Kokomo have their lead go out of hand. Conaway on that right side. Look at the pressure they've got on Nolan Swan up there, not able to get open. Carpenter, he's going to try a 3. No good. Tipton still not on the board.
I don't know if we tighten the rims or what before this, but Grady Carpenter will pick up his first foul here.
Bellamy with the only 3 in tonight's matchup so far. It is early on in the game, so Tipton not quite out of it just yet, but they're going to need to get back in this game as soon as possible. Kokomo very good at controlling the pace of the game, as we mentioned earlier on in the pre-show. First sub, Gavin Hare. That's somebody we expected to start And there he is, holding his own down low, forcing this shot from Hardiman. But another offensive rebound from Badunga, and that's going to be his first 2 points of tonight's matchup.
Yep. Quick timeout there by Coach Hawkins. I think obviously have some adjustments we want to make.
A much-needed timeout as well.
Absolutely.
Better to use it now rather than save it for later when it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah. You know, if I'm Coach Hawkins, you know, I'm telling them let's keep running our sets, keep shooting. We're getting good looks. They're just not falling, so just keep shooting, and we got to box out.
Yep. And they're going to need to make Kokomo respect them.
Absolutely.
Down low now with the presence of Gavin Hare. Let's see what he can add down low to maybe have his teammates have some more open looks outside. They've had decent looks. None of them have gone in.
Yeah, absolutely. And here before we get started, we have spotted Matt Painter. He was up above the blue crew, almost directly across from us. I don't think we get him on camera because the basketball goal's in the way, but Matt Painter is here. We have confirmed. Best coach in the country is here in Tipton, Indiana tonight.
Tipton so far not showing him anything too great right now. Maybe he'll want to recruit Carpenter or Swan when this game's over. We'll see. Not the best start for Tipton, though. Carpenter going to look to change that right now. Pull-up jumper. First points of the game for Tipton come at the hands of Grady Carpenter. That's something he's very good at, obviously known for his playmaking abilities, getting those assists, but when his team needs some points, he'll provide them. Badunga down low, swarmed by Tipton defenders. Look at that, kicks it out. Reese Beard for three, no good. They need to get that board, and they do. Quickly comes up big.
It's good hustle there by Sam Quigley.
A little, that missed shot from Conaway. A little scary there. Tipton didn't look like they really wanted to get that board.
Yeah.
Sam Quigley, the one to do it. Swan comes up with a steal. He's got Carpenter on that right side. Defended by Bellamy. Needs to be careful. Badunga from behind. That's a crucial foul. I think that's on Flory. If that
they're calling on the ground. I don't think it's on him. Guess we'll see.
Number 3, Bellamy picking up the foul. That would have been very crucial for Tipton. If they could get Flory into foul trouble early, that would open up so many opportunities for them.
Absolutely.
Connor Assong coming.
Absolutely.
He'll play most likely a power forward position on offense at least. We'll see what he can do to help Tipton cut into the 7-point lead. Offensive foul immediately on Hassong. Not a great start.
Yeah, it's the right call there by the official. It's kind of a bonehead play there.
We'll see if Tipton can pick it up. They're going to need to stop here.
Yeah, on the
last. See Gavin Hare and see that size mismatch on Badunga.
He's doing pretty well so far. I mean, he's fighting down there.
I'm surprised Badunga not trying to establish his position too much. He's looking for it there. 3, 4, Bellamy no good. Swan with it, he'll get fouled. That's 2 on Bellamy, a key player for the Wildcats.
That's the right call there.
I see Money going back to the bench, and another substitution there coming out from Kokomo as well.
We'll see DeAndre Kirby enter the game.
Wearing number 23. He is the 6-foot senior. One of the smaller guys on Kokomo, but he'll be providing speed. Looks like he'll be guarding Jackson Money there. You see they've got Badunga on Gavin Hare down low. I think that's the right matchup to make for sure. Down low to Jackson Money. Would have been swarmed by Wildcat defenders if he'd gone. He gets Flory to jump. Back to Swan. Elbow jumper is good. What a play.
Good decision by Gavin Hare there.
Cannot attack Badunga in there. That's how he gets those 4.6 blocks per game.
Absolutely. Smart play there by Tipton.
I think that's just a play you make in the moment. Not even something you have to think about.
Yeah,
you see a 6'9" person there, you don't go to him.
Yeah.
Kokomo will go to him, however. The shot, in and out. Hassong needs to chase down that rebound. He gets tipped into Badunga. Don't foul there. That's okay. 2 points for Badunga, but Swan, good idea not fouling. That's what I like there.
Yeah, it looks like Floyd kind of hooked him there. Officials let it go, but something to keep an eye on going forward.
And those offensive rebounds killing Tipton right now. We'll update you guys on the quarter. That's going to be in about 53 seconds. We'll get some stats there. See how many offensive rebounds exactly Kokomo did have.
Yeah,
definitely more than Tipton.
Special shout out to the Kokomo stats team here sitting next to us, being generous enough to print off those stats and give them to us.
Grady Carpenter, pull up 3, no good. Rebound falls to Badunga. Reese Beard Kicks that one over to Spear. Down low to Badunga. Foul and one. That's not what you can have from Tipton.
Yep.
Hard to keep him out of there, but once he gets it down there, you might just let him have the 2.
Yeah.
No need to make him earn 3, which he's not the greatest free throw shooter. Kokomo definitely not the greatest free throw shooting team, coming in at 55%. But, I mean, they're just extra points, and that'll bring in Landon Spidell. He also had some size down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Gavin both super strong, and Flory got his position there, but Gavin's trying his best. I know that.
Badunga, free throw good. 10-point lead for the Wildcats. 20 seconds left for Tipton. You think they save for the last shot. Can't let Kokomo get in transition late in the quarter. That's where they can build on a little bit extra to those leads. Very fast team. Swan nearly turns it over, kicks it out to Money in the corner. 7 seconds left. Money, you need to be careful. That one's tipped out of bounds. Luckily for him, he got away with potentially a travel there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a wet spot on the court or what.
He was definitely slipping more than, that would be normal. And we don't have any towel guys down there to, we're not that type of school. 4 seconds left for Carpenter. Half-court shot, going to be short. And that'll bring them into the second quarter. They trail 4-14, well below their average. I think it's around 12 per game, like per quarter, so well below their average.
Yeah, and like we talked about, Tipton's getting pretty good looks. There's not really falling for us, so I think we just keep moving the ball, keep running our sets, and then I think we'll see some improvement here in the second quarter. But definitely got to figure something out here with Flory.
Looks like the Kokomo and Tipton cheerleaders teaming up here. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing.
We got some.
I think it's some sort of donation. It must be.
Yeah, it's the teddy bear toss. I believe all the stuffed animals that are being tossed onto the floor here will be donated to the local law enforcement and be used for children in need in the Tipton area and in surrounding counties. So
a very good cause, and you love to see that coming out from some neighboring schools here. Kokomo only about 20 to 30 minutes away, so
absolutely
definitely have some history with them, but most of it's been pretty good.
Absolutely, and just got the stats here from the Kokomo stats team handed over to us. Flory, 7 points, 4 rebounds. Let's see who else.
See their leading scorer so far?
Yeah. Patrick Hardiman, 4 points, and then Xavion Bellamy, 3 points. 14 total rebounds for Kokomo to Tipton's 5. So
that's not what you can have on pace for. I think if I'm doing my math right, that's 56.
Yeah, cannot have that.
Definitely crucial there from Tipton, and look at the added pressure on Flory. Hardiman going to be fouled.
And I know we hit on Tipton just keep shooting those shots. They went 0 of 9 from behind the arc here, and they only had 2 other 2-point field goal attempts, and they made both of them. So, like I mentioned, Tipton's a very 3-point heavy team here.
A very hot and cold team as well.
Absolutely.
Hardiman at the line makes his first. That's already 5 fouls on Tipton, so their per half average is just 7, which would get Kokomo just 1 and 1. One of those, at least. Hardiman at the line shooting one more, and he's good for it. So Kokomo definitely shooting better than they normally do from the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% so far in the first quarter.
Let's see what Carpenter and his boys can do on the offensive end. Their first possession here. Carpenter has it up top. He's defended by Hardiman. Swan, pull-up jumper is good. So all the points here coming from mid-range for Tipton.
Yeah.
Not something we would have expected, but with the way they've been shooting the 3 ball, it's kind of what they have to resort to. Spear throws that one away. Swan with it. Tipton also a team that can push in the transition, not nearly as known for it as Kokomo is. They do their work in the half court. Down low to Spidell, kicks it out. That's an open 3 for Conaway. And Tipton not able to get that one either. 0 of 10. One of these is going to have to fall for Tipton, and I think once that happens, it's gonna snowball into more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. If Tipton just hits their average, they're probably in the lead here.
And even then, they're playing a home game. They're used to these rims. They're used to this depth. Carpenter pulls up there, no good. Spidell not able to get that one.
Yeah, looks like he was trying to draw the foul there and did not get it.
Hardiman down low, blocking foul. I don't think that'll count. It'll be on the floor.
Yep, on the floor there.
Foul against Maverick Conaway. That's his first foul, so nothing too big to worry about for Maverick. They get the ball into Reese, into the corner. Kirby down low to Hardiman. Another big body there for Kokomo.
I mean, it's just so hard for Tipton to match up with this size.
You have Spidell guarding, or Badunga guarding Spidell down there, and then Hardiman just as big as a Carpenter there, and as mobile as well. That's one reason that they don't have Badunga as
Yep, Kokomo called timeout there.
That was by Kokomo?
The ref close to us, I believe, pointed to Kokomo, but they're talking to Coach
I think
Hawkins.
it was Tipton. Kokomo coach asking full or 30 from Tipton. Full timeout, it looked. 30 seconds.
30-second
My
timeout.
bad. 30-second timeout.
A lot of confusion there on,
Yeah.
On one who called it and two how long the timeout was going to be. So, you know.
From us, certainly, look at all these hand gestures. We
Yeah.
can't exactly hear them.
Yeah.
A packed crowd here for Tipton. This is by far the most they've had this season.
Absolutely. And, you know, you think that you know that's got to affect the players. You know, this is the packed gym. You know, we got the best coach of the country here watching us. That's got to be a mental factor here. So we got a quarter out of the way. We've already, you know, scored more points than really than what we did in the first quarter there early on, and I think the nerves are starting to settle down. But
I would say if any reason for their poor shooting start, it's got to be the crowd.
It's got to be,
which is
normally
more favored for Tipton, but all these fans watching Flory, it's going to be about 50-50, you think. You got to appreciate a player like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
No blame to anybody out here that doesn't normally attend these games but is out here. Badunga gets the rebound, misses the dunk, and that is so fortunate for Tipton.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I'm very surprised they did not call a foul there on Gavin Hare. Looks like he was pushing him in the back a little bit, but officials let it go. And I know Gavin Hare is glad that one did not go down.
And we've seen that effect on bigger players with size mismatches. It's like you can get away with being a little bit more physical against them. Refs are like, oh, he can handle it, and they'll call it a little bit differently than they would say if it was Gavin Hare getting fouled down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Into the corner, down low to Gavin Hare, not looking towards the basket, throws that one out of bounds. I'd like to at least have Gavin make Flory respect his abilities there.
Yeah.
At least look towards the basket. I know that's not what you're looking to score from, but you got to keep Flory on his toes.
Yeah. No, Gavin's not definitely not a prolific scorer. Against Northwestern,
Beer for three, no good.
Only had 4 points or so, most of them putbacks. So
that was Hardiman, backdoor cut.
Yep.
We were saying that might be a weakness from Kokomo. There, it's Tipton.
Yeah, I think Swan just fell asleep there on the defensive end.
And I will say the game's starting to get out of hand. You think? Tipton gonna need something here, but here comes
Showtime.
Flory. What are we thinking? Just a normal dunk, 2 points.
Yeah.
That's a layup.
Yeah, I was expecting, a windmill or something, but, it's first dunk of the night.
That might be his best look all game. I'm sure he might get some more.
Yeah.
Kokomo, a very fast break oriented type of team. And a shot from Carpenter, I suppose it'll do. Not the prettiest looking thing, but a tough shot to make.
Yeah, I guess the bank's still open tonight. I was looking for a foul there, but did not get the call.
One thing that Kokomo does, they don't foul a whole lot. Both of these teams at around 14. Tipton doubling Kokomo's foul tally at the moment, 6-3. You think at some point Kokomo will shoot the ball. Unfortunately, it was Spear to make it.
Yeah, Spear's a good shooter. I was watching him last year at the Logan Sport Regional. I watched him play, and also watching some film against Harrison. He's a very good shooter, and he's not afraid to shoot the ball.
Maverick Conaway on that far side, one of Tipton's better shooters, but the best one. Ball in the hands of Nolan Swan, shot no good. It's going to be so difficult for Tipton. Some contact down low, and that brings the attention away from the scorer, DeAndre Kirby. Forced timeout called by Tipton.
Yep, full timeout here by the Blue Devils. We know who called it this time. We know how much.
Yep.
Not sure what the problem was the last time.
Kokomo, no reason to call a timeout here, so
Yeah.
there's only one other team that could do it.
Yep.
Tipton with the timeout.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the game's starting to get a little out of hand. Just not much, not much they can do.
Yeah. Even with a bad start, you think, hey, Tipton, they make 1 or 2 threes, they're right back in the game.
Yeah.
That is not the case anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be so hard as players. Like, you're seeing these good shots, they're just not going in. It's just not falling for you. It's got to be so hard to keep the drive to keep shooting those. But
especially in front of all these fans, you're not wanting to disappoint them at all. Plenty of Tipton fans here, as you can see. All the blue in the crowd there. A little bit of red, but most of the red's actually on our side.
Yeah.
So the camera looking at a lot more blue.
Yeah, absolutely. Kokomo's traveling very well, and as you mentioned, why not when you have a guy this good?
Not too far away either. If any away game to come to, why not this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
A very historic gym as well. This is one of the better gyms in all of Indiana. Kokomo, of course, sporting their own gym. It's much bigger than ours, but it's a very historic gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite places to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 very historic programs and 2 very historic venues.
3:23 left for Tipton to get back in the game. They're going to want to cut the lead as far as they can before halftime. Hassan on the floor passes that one over. It gets swung to Quigley. Hassan going to try his first 3. That one off the mark. The rebound fell to Quigley, but not quite able to get a grab on that one. Out of bounds off of Tipton. Shane Spear playing point guard for Kokomo. Also in the game, I don't know if we mentioned him when he came in, Jace Rail wearing number 24. Let's see what he can provide for the Kokomo with the ball in his hands here. He passes that one off to Spear. Swung over to Reese. Look at Flory coming across the lane here. Charge call.
Oh, a jump ball.
A jump ball, rather. Not the worst thing that could have happened for Tipton. Obviously, the worst thing would be Swan picking up a blocking foul. So,
yeah, Tipton get the ball here with the AP arrow.
So, a good defensive play there from Nolan Swan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll bring in Jackson Money. He missed his first couple of threes when he's defended by Badunga, but it's just a matter of time before they fall. And that's exactly what Tipton needs at the moment. No threes yet for such a good shooting team. Quigley on the right side. He's defended by Rail. Money straight up top, defended by Badunga. I'd like to see Jackson Money, force Badunga out a little bit more. Badunga obviously staying down low to protect the paint. Obviously, he's not even coming up that far when Jackson Money has the ball in his hands. Swan thought about it, has Money down low, misses the shot. Oh, Jackson Money in his own head a little bit maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be. You always have that 6'9" in the back of your head.
Which there Money did have him in his field of vision, but you never know how much ground Badunga can cover.
Exactly.
He gets 4.6 blocks per game for a reason.
Yeah.
He's not just he's not slow down there. Rail takes the 3, no good. Tipton sagging off of him. Carpenter tries to go all the way, kicks it out to an open Hasong in the corner. Still not a made 3 yet for Tipton. This is the worst shooting night I've seen them have.
Yeah. It's picked a bad night to have it, but they can't really control that. So,
in these situations they can go down low to Carpenter driving inside, to Spidell, to Hare. They're not the best scorers that Tipton has to offer, but they're the best post scorers that Tipton has to offer.
Yeah.
They can't exactly go to them tonight.
Yep. Just had an offensive foul there on Spear. Ran into this smaller Quigley, and it's going to get called every time. So.
That's what Tipton's going to need to get back in this game. Stops on the defensive end. Hasong in the corner. Still no made 3s for Tipton. I wonder which one gets it first. Badunga picks up one of his blocks there. Any other player you think that's a safe shot to take?
No.
Not this one.
Nope.
Badunga down low. Reverse layup is good for Badunga.
See some frustration there from Grady Carpenter. I mean, he's down there battling. There's just nothing he can do. He's just bigger and stronger.
I will mention he does look quite tired bringing the ball up the floor, working as equally as hard on the offensive and defensive end. he's got a mammoth task. Facilitating offense, guarding Flory Badunga. He's going to need to rely on his teammates more than he ever has before. Swan up top. He's defended by Reese. Or Beard, rather. Reese Beard. Badunga with the rebound. He's got plenty of those. 16 seconds left. Hardiman, the layup is good. One of the most poor halves I've ever seen from Tipton, at least this season, as far as this season is concerned. Fast break. Hardiman. Charge taken. That's got to be a charge, and it is. That'll just about round out the quarter. Looks like they're going to have 1 second left to go.
Yep.
So I'll put that back on the clock. We'll round that to 1 on this scoreboard. Not even free throws for Tipton. Only 5 seconds. It's going to have to be a heave.
That was a great heads-up play there by Nolan Swan.
We'll go to a quick break at halftime. I think we'll cut it about halfway through. Take about 5 minutes there. We'll be back, bring you some stats and the halftime breakdown. We'll see you then. All right, here to bring you the halftime breakdown. Not a great half from Tipton. They only came in with, looks like, see here, 2 assists compared to 9 from Kokomo, which Tipton's usually a team that gets many more. They average more than Kokomo for sure.
Yeah, we talked about Grady Carpenter pregame, averages a little over 8 assists. He has 1 so far in the first half. So, it's not even that Tipton's not sharing the ball. Their shots just aren't falling.
No, and that's the big thing. Like you can't get assists when your shots aren't falling, and they've been moving the ball. Like they've been putting it on the floor, kicking it out when they need to. The shots have not been falling.
Absolutely, and Tipton with 5 turnovers. And Kokomo's, capitalized on that with 6 points off our turnovers. Talk about another big deficit here, the rebound deficit. Kokomo's got 25 to Tipton's 8. That's just not acceptable.
I would
for
say
the
that's
Blue
one
Devils.
of 2 main factors. We'll get into the next one here shortly, but the offensive rebounds for Kokomo as well. Those second chance points.
Yeah,
That's
Kokomo's
not
got
something.
10.
That's not something Tipton can let them do.
Yep, Kokomo's got 10 to Tipton 0 for second chance points. So, not the worst half Tipton's played all year.
I would have to agree with that. Let's see if they can bounce back here. They're going to need to shoot the ball better, though.
Yeah.
22% from twos, 0 for 13 from threes.
Yeah, I mean, if Tipton shoots their average, we kind of talked on this earlier. We're in the game. It's
And a lot of if statements here coming.
Yeah.
But that's really what it boils down to. There's not much else to talk about other than if Tipton could get those offensive
Yeah.
rebounds or defensive rebounds, I suppose it would be on their end.
Yeah.
If they could hit those threes. If they shoot their average, they're losing by 3 at the moment. But if you look at it that way, if Kokomo's shooting their average, they'd get a few more as well. They're only shooting 2 of 13. So Tipton, it could be in a worse position for them.
Yeah. Yep. Could always be worse. But I mean, it could also be a lot better too.
Not something from Kokomo as well. 5 for 5 from free throws, so well above their average. With their average of 55%, you'd think they'd hit 3, which would cut the deficit down to 19 instead of 21. So no big deal there.
Absolutely.
But I'd be okay with Tipton holding them to 5 free throws and a half. I think that's okay. It's just Tipton 0 free throws.
Yeah.
Not attacking, not even getting fouled on those threes that aren't falling. They're not getting bailed out in any way.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you're going to have to try to drive in and get Flory in foul trouble. I mean, it's really the only way to take him out of the game.
Badunga here. Does he have any fouls so far?
No. Nope.
No personal fouls
Nope.
on Badunga. 2 on Bellamy. Let's see here. 2 on Hardiman
and one on Spear.
Shane Spear.
And also, I guess while we're here, kind of by Flory, first half double-double.
Yep, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and actually a couple of assists, which he doesn't really average that many, but I'd like to see that from him.
Yeah.
Looking for his teammates down there. He draws obviously so much attention, and that's going to be crucial for moving into the next level that he's going to be playing at in a couple of years. He's only a junior, so Tipton has to deal with him for another year, and then he'll be on his way playing Division I somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we talked about earlier, he's the number 4 ranked recruit in the country. He can go anywhere he wants. So I hope it means a lot. For me as a Purdue fan, it means a lot that Matt Painter's here to watch him.
Yep.
And hope he chooses that, especially with Purdue's track record of developing big men. But he could go anywhere he wants.
Yep. Kicking off the second half here, it will be Kokomo possession to start us off here. Kokomo with a 21-point lead that they built themselves in the first half. That's another thing about Badunga. Probably his weakest aspect of his game, his assists. But, I mean, he's so dominant at the high school level that it's like you don't really need to focus that hard on those. But if any room for development there, that's what it would be. As a nice pass there, right when I say it, nearly picking one up there, but the foul going to come in from Tipton. And I've actually been very impressed with Badunga down there, looking for his teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. You think about, for me as a Purdue fan, that's the team I watch the most. So if I keep referencing them, that's why, just because I know the most about them. But think about like Travion Williams and how good of a passer he was, and how much better that made him and his team. And Zach Eady now developing into being a good passer as well, being able to pass out of double teams. And I think we're going to see the same thing from Flory.
Yep, and in the high school level, there's really two types of big men. I'll compare them to some NBA players here. There's your Embiids and your Jokic's. Your Jokic's are your playmakers. Your Embiids are your big men down low. You know, your more classical type of big man. I would more so compare him to Embiid.
Yeah. Yep, definitely showing some great vision, though.
And that'd be a dangerous combo, those two.
Yeah,
mixing
absolutely.
up into one player.
Absolutely.
And Badunga's definitely shown some signs of that, of his playmaking ability here.
Yeah, Hardiman's going to pick up his third here.
That's big for Tipton. He was crucial in their first half. He has 12 points, outscoring Badunga, actually.
Yeah.
Swan with the ball up top.
Kind of surprised they're keeping him in, but, I mean, when you're up 22.
Finally a three for Tipton. We were waiting
First
for that
three.
all game. Jackson Money. I like that he keeps shooting them. That's what we wanted. You know, don't lose the confidence in yourself. That's how you will make this even worse for yourselves as they force Badunga out of the paint. Sliding around down there, those shoes might not have the best traction. And of course, it'll be hard to stop a force like that on his run. Very fast player as well. Conaway down low. Two more for Tipton. This is what we like to see from them.
Yeah.
A made three, transition baskets. This is what we were talking about in the pregame show.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of interesting the strategy they're going here on the defensive end. You know, whenever Floyd's on that side, they're basically sticking only one man up top on that side.
Swan diving for that one. He'll be out of the play for a moment, but he is back now. Look at the attention Badunga. He commands that. They had him open down low for a second. Three instead. 3 over 2, I suppose.
Tell you what,
Money, he's kept out of the paint for now.
It's one guy you do not want to let get hot. Spear will light it up.
On the other end, was that Hardiman down there?
No, that was Reese Beard.
Oh, no, Reese Beard.
Pick up his first foul of the game.
Yep, so no big deal there for the Wildcats. First sub for the Wildcats in the half, DeAndre Kirby. And finally, Hardiman will come out. He's a big piece for them in the first half.
Absolutely.
Leading scorer for them and another big presence down low. It must be very easy to play with down low, that 1-2 combo down low. Tipton doesn't have anything to match it.
Yeah, it's just so hard to match their size.
Oh, what a cut there from
There's the
Swan.
back cuts we were talking about.
This is exactly what we were talking about. I think this is what we were more so expecting to come out, at least from the offensive end for the Blue Devils, is those back doors, a weakness for Kokomo. Badunga with a clever finish down low. Great finisher as well. You know, he scores, I think it was 45% of his shots were dunks, actually. So Carpenter, rather. Here comes Quigley, saves it.
What
only into Kokomo, but I like the hustle there. It will be 4-on-5 down low. Badunga establishing position. It'll allow for a corner three for Spear. He's hot.
What I tell you, don't let him get hot.
Looks like Spear decided to answer the call in the second half with Hardiman out. Badunga, maybe not his best game, still very quality. I mean, you get a double-double in the first half. I'm sure nobody's going to complain about that.
Yeah.
But scoring-wise, I think he would rather have a bit better of a game. But Tipton down low. They've done pretty well. Unfortunately for them, Kokomo's other players have stepped up.
Yep, and Kirby's going to pick up his first foul here. Already the fourth team foul.
That's about what they average in one quarter. We're not even halfway through it, and they've already got that. You know, they average 7 fouls per half, which Swan adds on another one.
That was a good move there by Swan.
Just the unfortunate thing, they were down by 21. You think they're playing super well, still down by 21.
Yep.
Badunga with the slam.
There's his third dunk.
He had the missed one that shook the backboard. If you were paying close attention there, somehow he missed that one. But he'll get it back there for sure. Carpenter trying to spin down low. That's cleverly defended, and that one tipped out. And that is Bellamy on the other end. Xavion Bellamy adding on 2 more. Tipton needs to be careful about those risky passes.
Yeah, we can't be making lazy passes like that.
We said for Kokomo would be important to control the turnovers. How about for Tipton? Badunga coming up with the block there, but I think the foul was called before.
Yeah, that won't count, but still good effort after the whistle there.
You like to see that if you're a coach scouting.
Yeah,
a player that's going to play even after the whistle. You have that tone setter of a player. Obviously, it's just another thing for Badunga to do. Corner three for Quigley comes up short. The rebound to Spear. He pushes it up. Badunga with the jam. What a dunk from him. And Tipton's got a little bit lazy on the defensive end. I don't fault them for not jumping with Badunga there.
Yeah.
But rather letting Spear dribble up and not picking him up.
Yeah.
That's where they get those lobs is inside there. And a quick little dish. Swan for three. No good.
He liked that one too.
Very poor shooting night for Tipton. And Badunga tried to repeat it. Swan saves it in. It looks like it'll be out of bounds off of Tipton.
Yeah, you definitely got to get a body right on him as soon as they get the rebound.
Badunga smiling over there. He wanted that one, but Swan was able to get in the way that time.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen the rim bend that far.
It has.
Think back to the days of Mike Crawford and Derek Elson.
Around 2013, which coincidentally enough is a couple of times that we saw this amount of attendance here. Watching those Mike Crawford-led Blue Devils, obviously a very fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as high of a prospect as Flory, but also a very good player in comparison for the high school level.
Yeah. Yep. Mike Crawford, Tipton's only 2,000-point scorer in school history. And as part of the 2013 All-Star game, which Tipton hosted.
Yep.
He's got
his name over there in his own very, very small and lonely section. But I think if anything is lonely here, I think that's one you want to have. 2,000-point club.
Yeah.
No easy feat at all.
Yep.
And it's Mike Crawford that is the lone person there. Swan with a clever finish on that end. Tips it away, nearly picks up the foul, but he will come away clean. Beard kicks that one out, looking for Badunga.
Good recognition there.
Here comes Money. On the other end, converts for the two. 23-point deficit still for Tipton. You think they've played very well? Well, Kokomo actually coming up with 2 extra points. They started at 21. It's 23 now. Off of a pretty good Tipton quarter. They had 10 at the half. 13 points just in the third quarter, which is more about average for Tipton.
Yeah.
If anything, slightly below, but there's still time left to get up there.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this quarter. I'm glad the boys did not give up.
It's Bellamy with a clever finish. That one, very athletic finish there from Bellamy. Timeout called by Kokomo. They lead by 25, if I can do my math right. 25.
Yeah, you're right. You made the honor roll. Give yourself some credit. You made the honor roll.
Minute 18 left in the third quarter here. Tipton trailing by 25. They started out the quarter at 21, so I guess if it's on pace, not as bad as the previous quarters, but this is not the direction you can be going.
Yeah. And, I hate to keep going back to, the game yesterday, but, a Muncie Central team only put up, 38 on Kokomo. So, they're obviously a lot larger school than us.
And Tipton within the realm of possibility of getting there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They absolutely could. I think besides a miracle, this one's going to go to Kokomo.
Yeah. Yep, it's pretty easy to shoot that one in.
But if nothing else for Tipton, what an entertaining game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
at least for the third quarter. The first quarter not up to Tipton's standards. If they were lighting it up from 3, this would have been the best game of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, though, for Tipton, that's not how the game has gone.
Still, only 1-3, I think.
Only 1-3 from Money.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out here in a minute and 10 seconds from the Kokomo Stats team. Again, big shout out to them. Really appreciate everything.
Conaway looked like he wanted to add one on there. Swan needs to be careful. Oh, that's the thing with Flory.
Yeah, that's the one he normally makes.
Just about any other player, and that's a pretty typical left-handed finish as Bellamy adds on a 3. Kokomo at 51. That's a very routine finish for Swan with just about anybody else in the state down there. Certainly on Tipton's schedule, they're not going to see too many people like Badunga. Swan for 3, and that's where they're going to have to go if they're going to come back in this game. It's a little late, still doable if there's a miracle here, but the Inferno's never seen anything like that.
Yeah, crazier things have happened.
This is not what you can have. A missed 3, thankfully. Spear has had a very good shooting quarter. He was a little bit quiet in the first half, but he's definitely woken up. What a pass that is from Carpenter. Blocked by Badunga. Hare kicks it out to Money. And he'll reset the offense for about 6 more seconds. Here comes Carpenter. He's going to need a shot up. And he gets it off. No good. Flory picks up another rebound to add on to his tally.
Yeah.
He had, 12, I believe it was, or 10 total rebounds in the first half. And we will soon have the stats here to let you know how many he's at now.
And I mean, you got to feel for guys like Gavin Hare and Grady who are just down there battling with Flory all night. I mean, they have one of the toughest assignments in the country.
You can't ask for much more from them.
Yeah.
From this game, obviously you want to keep them to a quiet game, but there's not very many teams that have the personnel to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Tipton obviously not a large enough school to combat that. Flory at 12 rebounds, so only picking up 2 in that quarter.
Yep, 17 points though.
He did definitely woke up in the scoring department.
Bellamy with 10. Hardiman still with 12. That foul trouble he got in early in the quarter. Sat the bench for the rest of the quarter, but
Shane Spear also finds himself in double figures. He had an excellent quarter.
Yeah.
Bellamy also. I think it was really those two, besides Flory, of course.
Yeah, in the third quarter here, Kokomo scored 20, Tipton 16. So, if Tipton would have started out this hot, we'd have a lot closer game here.
And it looks like Beard, Spear, and Badunga all playing every minute of the game.
Wow. There's another back cut.
For Swan this time, he'll add on 2. And that'll be big for Tipton. Trailing by 23. Bellamy in the corner throws that one all the way over to Hardiman, who has 3 fouls. Hardiman for 3. No good. And the rebound to Hassong. Picks one up there. Carpenter on that far side. Tries to shake Hardiman. Spin move inside. Hardiman, good defense there. Making the shot as difficult as possible for Carpenter. Badunga in transition. The crowd liking that one. Bellamy drives inside. No good. Jackson Money ends up with
Good
it.
board.
Great job sticking with that one for Money. We like to see our boys playing till the end of the game here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one
Not
thing about
giving
this
up
team.
there.
They're not going to give
got to
up.
stick into it.
That's a foul.
Foul called on
Beard. He doesn't like it, but it's a foul.
Ball gets into Money. He's got Hassong on the wing. He's going to try a 3. Look for his first. No good. The rebound falls to Gavin Hare. You like to see the offensive rebounds for Tipton, even if that one was directly to him. It'll lead to 2 points.
Tell you what, Swan's shot is so pretty.
One of the better shooters that Tipton's seen, certainly in recent years.
Absolutely.
You'd probably put him around top 5
Yeah.
within the decade, you would say. Bellamy up top. He's defended by Money. 3-point attempt is no good. The rebound out. Swan catches and he'll be fouled by Rail. Team fouls on Kokomo, so perhaps Tipton could squeak into the game with some made free throws.
Yeah.
They shoot 70%. They're going to need well above that to get in here. But that could that's definitely going to help them.
Yeah, and I mean, with matchups like Flory that he sees every game, you're going to draw the best reps in the state, just about every game. So
I've loved how Swan's working here.
Beard's going to pick up his third. Team 7.
Third foul on Beard, third foul on Hardiman. That'll send Swan to the line, shooting 1 and a bonus.
They called it on the shot. So
shooting foul. Two shots for Swan. Misses
So
the first, and that's not what you can have from Tipton.
Yeah, also something you don't really see from him too often. He's normally a pretty good free throw shooter.
Well above average for his team. If you look at Carpenter and Hassong already set up on the defense on the other end. Swan adds on one more with the free throw. They're going to need to shoot up about 90%. Bellamy down low to Badunga. Well defended by Tipton, but he's got Hardiman blocked by Carpenter. Saved back into Carpenter.
Good
Great
hustle
defensive
there.
effort.
what a
Hassong down
pass.
low, and Badunga not there in time.
What a pass
You
by
saw him
Carpenter.
creeping up there. Tipton within
That'll
18.
be Grady's 5th assist.
Bellamy down low to Badunga. Well defended by Hare. I love he's standing his ground.
He's fighting, that's for sure.
Bellamy down low to
Oh,
Hardiman.
good-
What a play
Good
from
play
Hare.
by Gavin.
Gavin Hare. What a workhorse he's been. Going right
And
at
one.
Badunga. Nearly gets the and one. This is a different look from Tipton.
Yeah, I don't know what changed, at the end of that quarter, but I love this aggression. It's the only way they're going to have a chance, too.
Hare looking very tired on the lining up on the free throw line.
Yeah.
But look at Badunga. Same pose from him. He might not be used to this kind of stalemate from smaller opponents.
Yeah.
You would think.
Especially ones that short. And not
Short,
that
but very but very strong.
yeah, not that
from
6'2"
Gavin
short.
Hare.
I'm just saying, shorter than Flory.
Wouldn't we like to be 6'2"?
Yeah.
5 minutes left to go. Tipton's chipped away at the lead. It's 17 now. A missed free throw on the other end that we didn't mention
Yeah.
is not going to help. You would think if Tipton gets
That's-
off to a better shooting first half, they could be just about tied. Carpenter nearly picks up the foul there. He's going to have to recover quickly. Swan called for it instead.
Yep. It's a right call there. Those free throws we just saw, those are the first free throws of the game for Tipton. Took them a little over 3 quarters, but
Yep. No free throws for 3 quarters is not something you see too often for Tipton. Not exactly known for it, and they need to be careful from behind.
Yep.
Not exactly known for getting to the line a whole lot, but well below their average. Not where they want to be. Swan picks up his third. 4:30 left to go. You don't want to see him get to 4.
yeah. I know Swan doesn't really like the call, but he did get him in the back there with the push. But
And that sends DeAndre Kirby to the line, who, fortunately for the Blue Devils, misses his first. Gavin Hare coming out. I hope this is just temporarily. I'd like to see him come back soon.
yeah, same here.
For the smaller Quigley as well.
Yeah,
So it'll be up to Carpenter, and
Yeah.
I would imagine Hassong or Quigley, some combination of those two. It'll be up to them to defend the bigs from Kokomo. 52-34, almost halfway through the final quarter.
There's
Money
another
picks
three.
up a 3. That's his second. Tipton might just shoot themselves back in the game. If this came earlier on in the third quarter, who knows what the score could be. Better late than never, I suppose. A foul called on Carpenter down low, and the fouls are really not helping Tipton.
Yeah.
That's 2 straight trips. Kokomo's been to the line.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way they kind of do help them because they're not a, they're not a great free throw shooting team, but they're still gonna make a few. So
We'll see what Shaden Spear can come up with here. Looking at the attendance on the baseline as well. Makes it a little bit harder for a poor free throw shooting team to make them, but
yeah,
he'll do all right for himself there. He's got one more. Again, if you've been watching this season, those baseline fans, not something you normally see. Hassong down low, adds on 2 more. Great find from Carpenter.
and Coach Beckenball is not too happy with his team right now.
That's what we like to see. The young coach, he's going to have to get his players back in order. definitely not too happy now. The more experienced coaching on the side of Cliff Hawkins and the Blue Devils. You think he has some part to play in this fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah.
Down by 14, and I think John Harrell had Tipton losing by about 12. I think it was.
Yeah. Yep.
So, not too bad for Tipton.
Tell you what, Big John's getting pretty heated in there, which I don't blame him. Kokomo's starting to lack a little bit, but put a lot of emphasis towards Flory there in that timeout.
And if any player, that's where you've got to go. He's
yeah.
not had the most explosive fourth quarter, but with a play like that, he could really turn it up at any moment. Tipton pressuring, and we talked about this earlier, actually. Kokomo's going to be used to that. They've seen just about every defense with the amount of opponents that they play, or the quality, and the difference in quality. They'll be used to that. The inbounds makes its way to Xavion Bellamy. He had a great third quarter to help Kokomo extend their lead. Bit quiet from just about everybody from Kokomo. Most of their points coming from free throws. I wonder if that's Swan picking up his fourth. It is.
Wow.
That is not good for Tipton. The very last thing you want to see is Nolan Swan picking up 4.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call that on Quigley there, but
Quickly even raising his hand to offer.
Yeah.
But and a good teammate that is. A good display. Another 3 there.
We got to know where he's at. I mean,
especially on the inbounds plays where it's set up and he's not moving a whole lot, because he didn't move in that play. He stood in the corner. Usually that's kind of a decoy type of player. Money trying to attack Badunga, kept out of the paint for now. Carpenter blocked by Badunga, and that's going to kick off the fast break for Kokomo. Bellamy goes all the way. Badunga with the putback jam. 19 points in a matter of moments. Money fakes the 3, gets Badunga off of his feet. Hassan going to try one of his own. No good. Didn't come up with any contact there. They've got Kirby down low. He'll add on 2. And that should just about do it for the game. You think 21 points at this the point in the game. 2:43 left to go. And I'll fix the clock here a little bit. 2:43 on the scoreboard here in the Inferno. So I'll match that here on ours. If we could get some way to connect the scoreboards, that'd be great, but no such thing for us here at Tipton. But we'll do. You know, it's close enough. So.
Yeah, you love to see, Tipton coming out to support their boys here, and even the fans from Kokomo making the trip down to watch a great game and a great player. A lot of great players. I shouldn't just say just one. There's a lot of great players on this floor. So for both teams too.
Certainly for the high school level, and you've got players like Grady Carpenter who are very entertaining to watch. He averages the second most assists in Indiana, I think it was.
Yeah, second most assists in the state and 14th in the whole country. So.
Yep, so 2:43 left to go. It looks a little bit out of Tipton's hands at this point. At the beginning of the quarter, you think if you're down 21, it's still possible, and they certainly tried for a minute there. But Kokomo rallying back. Ball in the hands of Swan. He has 4 fouls. One more will disqualify him from playing further in the game. Money thought about the 3. You never know what kind of safe distance you have with Flory guarding you. Down low, Hassan swings it to Money. On the wing, looking for Swan in the corner. That's open enough for him. 3-pointer good for Nolan Swan. This is the kind of shooting we would have expected earlier on in the first half, but it's not what we got. And that's why we are at this point in the game. Quickly picking up a foul. Not sure if that's something that Coach Hawkins instructed them to do.
It kind of looks like it.
It did look intentional.
As soon as he got the ball, he was going.
Number 21 entering his way into the game, Carson Rogers. Badunga going to come out, I would have to assume, for the final time in tonight's game.
Yeah, no real need to risk anything happening to him in this last little over 2 minutes.
Nothing you want to see if you're a fan of either team, no matter how how big of a fan you are for either team. Never want to see a kid get hurt. Even if it does increase your chances of winning, Hassan misses the layup down low. A little bit of contact, but
Yeah, looks like he got pushed a little bit. But what a pass from Grady,
not enough to draw the foul from the officials. Hardiman kicks it out to their best shooter in this game, at least, Spear. Swarmed by Tipton defenders. Back in the corner for Hardiman. Stolen by Swan. Here he comes. Needs to outpace the Kokomo defenders. A tough task to do. They are very fast.
We got to give Swan credit. He hustles on defense. You know, he averages a little under 4 steals a game, which is pretty impressive. Shows he's active on defense and has
Tipton,
active hands.
more historically known for defense, not so much lately as they go down low to Money for the layup off the inbounds play. A clever little play there.
Yeah.
But in recent years, with the addition of Coach Hawkins, more offensive-minded team.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we talked about it, back when we played Frankfurt. But we had Coach Lou, who that was his philosophy, was defense. And I said I was impressed watching that Frankfurt game with how well Tipton's disciplined on defense. And
two very opposing ideologies from the coaches.
Yeah.
I think the offensive approach actually suits this team a little bit more, whereas Coach Lefebvre's defensive approach may have suited the others.
Absolutely.
2 more, and it's 14. A minute left to go, so I don't think they're going to need to bring Flory back in.
Yeah.
But a little bit scarier than they would have liked. And
tell you what.
Looks like the prediction there might have been right. 12 points in favor of Kokomo. That might be spot on at the end of the game.
And this has got to give the guy some confidence. I know Flory's out of the game, but you're starting to cut back into it. I know there's only a minute left, but
and still quality players on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like this is a team that we would normally be blowing out. This in and of itself would be a competitive team even without Badunga.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the size of, let's see, you got Hardiman and Spear down low. That's enough to give just about any team troubles, especially a bit of an undersized team like Tipton. But the addition of Badunga just adds another level to that. Shane Spear to the line. Excuse me. He'll be shooting 1 and 1. Second foul on Hassan, but it's not going to matter at this point. What matters will be the final score as Spear misses his free throw. He had a good 3-point shooting quarter and half in general. Carpenter for 3 is no good. The rebound nearly taken by Hassan. Good job at least fighting for it. Money called for the foul. 26 seconds left. Spear at the line. Spear's free throw is good this time. He'll get the Kokomo Wildcats to 61, potentially 62, and that would give them a 16-point lead. Enough time for Tipton to take the final shot if they choose. It will be up to them at the end of the day. Missed free throw and the rebound to Hardiman, but Swan actually does end up with it. Still some great hustle, and this is exactly what you want to see from Tipton.
Yeah, absolutely. And also want to give a big shout out to John Harrell. His score prediction for tonight was 63 to 49. So he's pretty spot on.
It'll be an inbounds for Kokomo. .21 seconds left. We'll see if Kokomo does, in fact, decide to shoot. Wouldn't matter too much at the end of the game. Spear in a little bit of trouble. He'll draw the 5-second call. And Tipton forces the turnover. And you love to see them keep fighting in this situation. Carpenter to bring it up. He's got Quigley waiting down low. Tries to dribble inside. He'll get it up, and a foul called. 7.5 seconds left. And that'll be Quigley to the line. He'll try to get in the score sheet. Quigley makes the first. Misses the second for Quigley, and that should just about do it. Another foul called, 5.5 seconds left. Not going to do too much. And we'll have Carson Rogers going to the line. He'll be shooting 2 with 5 seconds left to go. He'll make the first. 15-point lead for the Wildcats. And I will say one last time, very, very appreciated at all of our viewers watching online. Looks like we're at 181 at the moment. So big thank you to everybody watching, and that's not quite going to do it for the game.
I'll tell you what, these refs must work for John Harrell because they might.
It looks like they're trying to get to the prediction.
Just trying to get to that prediction.
Could get to 49-63 with a couple of made free throws, and that would put the spread right on.
Yeah.
One more made free throw would do just that and make John Harrell look like an absolute genius, which most of the time he is.
Yeah, he's pretty spot on. So here it is with 0.7 seconds left. We are right at the John Harrell prediction. Will Nolan Swan. And he hits it.
Another made free throw. Final score of tonight's game, 50 to Tipton, 63 to the visiting Kokomo Wildcats. It was a close game towards the end. After a very slow start from Tipton, I would argue that they're the better second half team in tonight's match.
Yeah, absolutely. When we'll get the stats here, we'll see how how many points they scored there in the second half. But it was a much better showing from Tipton in the second half.
That might not quite do it from here at the Inferno. We're going to look to see if we can get a player interview, player or coach, whichever one does decide. Very crowded here tonight in Tipton, so we'll see what we can do about that. So stay tuned for that if you're interested, and we'll give you guys some final game stats.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody watching, and please join us next time.
It's a very entertaining game, the most we've had on the live stream here, and the most we've had in person here in the Inferno, here to watch tonight's star-studded matchup.
We got the stats here fresh off the printer. Again, big thank you to the Kokomo stats team for providing us these stats. They've come in handy quite a bit here. And as we pointed out, here in the fourth quarter, Tipton 24 points to Kokomo's 12. So that's pretty shocking there. I know Flory went out, good portion of the way through the quarter, but Tipton much stronger second half. If ifs were fists, we'd all be drunk. But I mean, if Tipton played like they would, in the first half, I think there could be a lot different story here. Kokomo will still probably pull out the win and just be a lot closer.
And this proved that Tipton does have the capability to defeat these types of teams. I mean, it's not exactly what the result that they were looking for, but the second half proved that they can hang with just about anybody on their schedule. Kokomo, probably the hardest team, I would have to imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is going to, pay off when it comes to tournament time for the Blue Devils. You play a tough opponent like Kokomo, and that'll get you that experience for the postseason.
And it'll get them, obviously you said more experience, and it'll help them later on with teams that might not have played opponents such as Kokomo or teams on Kokomo's level. It'll be good for Tipton come tournament time.
The Tipton High School band doing their infamous musical cocktail, as they do after every home game. Always a nice tradition here in the Inferno.
That indeed. It's a little bit sweeter after it comes out of a victory, but they'll be glad to play it either way. Many fans here still lingering around for Tipton. We'll see if we can get you guys that interview that you're looking for as soon as possible. It's a little bit hard to navigate all these people. You know, Tipton has a tradition of doing their dance right in front of the stage there, making it a little bit harder to navigate. So we'll see what we can do in terms of the interview. All in all, I would say this was a very entertaining game, if nothing else. The first half, not so much, but Tipton able to bounce back in the second. I would say that's the biggest story in the game. Making it a little bit closer and more enjoyable for this awesome crowd that we've gathered for ourselves here tonight.
I think it'll be interesting as well to, if Matt Painter was here, if he's going to go. I don't know if coaches can, talk to players now or not, but
we'll see if
we'll see if he
if
gets
he
in
does
the
talk to Badunga. We'll see if we can get that on video at all.
Yeah.
Be nice to see those two communicating, and maybe Matt Painter can use his persuasive skills to lure him over there.
Yeah, I know he would love to have him at Purdue, and obviously we would as well as fans. But he's a great player, and like you said, he can go anywhere in the country. So
and I think as Hoosiers, which I'm assuming most of the people watching here are, this Tipton versus Kokomo game, I think we'd all like to see Flory stay somewhere in state, whether that be IU, Purdue, maybe even a Butler or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at his crystal ball on 247 Sports, it's currently at Cincinnati, which that's still pretty close. But obviously, we'd like to keep him in state. But obviously, he's going to choose whatever's best for him.
And if not in state, perhaps the Big Ten. Very very local in the Midwest.
Yeah, we know Tom Izzo's going after him pretty hard. So it's get to see him twice a year in Mackey and Assembly Hall. So that wouldn't be too bad either. But
all in all, I like what I saw from Badunga. His scoring and rebounding ability obviously going to come into effect here. His defense in effect as well, getting those blocks, holding down the interior, anchoring the defense for the Wildcats. Also his playmaking. I did not know that he had flashes like that.
Get a final stat line from everybody here. First off with Flory, and just under 30 minutes of play, 19 points, 15 total rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and 1 steal for Flory. Next we'll go 35, Shane Spear, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers for Spear.
Shooting 4 of 6 as well from the three-pointers, which really, really helped them extend their lead and combat that Tipton run early on in the fourth quarter. That was big from Spear.
Next, 23, DeAndre Kirby. I went 2 for 4 from the floor, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 block. Next, we have Carson Rogers, who went 2 for 2 from the foul line. 2 points, 2 rebounds, and looks like that is all for the stat line for him.
That's one of those players that they played towards the end of the game, only 2 minutes and 10 seconds of play time, but the experience is there for a young player.
Yep, we saw a lot of Hardiman in the first half, but after that, Tipton held him scoreless, so he just finished with 12 points, 5 rebounds. He had 3 fouls, and he had 3 turnovers to his name.
And the reason for not playing so much in the second half, those 3 fouls that he picked up, kept him out of the game for a bit, and which is the reason he didn't have such a great second half.
Yep, absolutely. And last year for Kokomo, Xavion Bellamy, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers.
Leading scorer for Tipton Nolan Swan with an impressive 24 points. He had 4 total rebounds, all coming on the defensive end. 3 assists for him as well. Leading assister for Tipton going to be number 3, Grady Carpenter. He had 7 assists, only 7 points. Not the greatest shooting game for him. 6 total rebounds, again, all coming on the defensive end. For Gavin Hare, he had 2 offensive rebounds, 2 total rebounds, so he was getting in there, battling for those second chance opportunities. We might even get a chance to talk to him. It looks like we will. We'll round out with Jackson Money. He had 12 points. Sam Quigley with 1. Maverick Conaway with 2. I mentioned earlier Grady Carpenter with 7 and Swan with 24. We will have Gavin Hare joining us. Got some questions for him.
We just had Coach Painter walk in front of the camera here. So here, we got Gavin Hare here for an interview. Go ahead and give you the headset here.
All right, Gavin, you had the massive task of trying your best to combat Flory Badunga. What did you guys do as a team to prepare for a player like him?
Well, practice all week was just about how we're going to take away 82%, as Coach would say. So we tried to throw different things at him and have multiple bodies. I thought we did a good job, but just wish we would have had a little better first half. I
would say you guys tried your best down there for sure, giving him different looks than he's normally used to. An undersized team, of course. How did the crowd affect how you guys played today? I mean, this is your biggest crowd I think that you guys have ever seen, especially this season, and a player like that will draw in a crowd like this.
It definitely did, but we tried to kind of focus it out, but I don't think we did a great job of that in the first half, but I thought we played a lot better in the second and kind of fed off the crowd when we got on that big run.
Yeah, but I would say the crowd affected your poor shooting first half. 0 of 9, I think, was your three-pointers for the first half at least. What did you guys do to overcome in the second half? What does Coach Hawkins say?
Coach just told us to keep shooting. I mean, we're a good shooting team, and he believes in us, and that's what we had to do to try to compete in the game, and we did, and we won the second half 40-32, so that's something to take away positive.
I was going to note that you guys did have a positive second half against them, you know, with a poor first half, a positive second half. I think you would take that as a pretty good outcome from the entire game?
Definitely, yeah. Like I said, it was a really good second half, and if we can play like that in our tournament run, I think we can be super successful and win a lot of games.
A team like this, crucial for that tournament experience. Other teams might not play teams such as Kokomo or any teams on their level, so that'll be definitely good for you guys in the tournament coming up soon here. I'll leave the floor open for you if you guys have any shout-outs that you want to give.
Just want to thank everybody for coming out. Not the result we wanted. Obviously, you want to win every game, but thanks for everybody for coming out. It was cool to play, and just keep building on this and keep getting wins.
All right. Thank you, Gavin.
Yep. Thank you.
That'll do it from here, us at the Inferno. I'm Grayson Weddle, joined by Jacob Dunn. Everybody